going to be a very practical paper secret. We are going to see how to take good care of your paper sculptures. Hello, my name is Laetitia Miral. I'm a paper magician and I share on my channel videos about fairy tales, paper techniques, day in the life of a magician, fairy tale home decor ideas, things like that. So if you think you might be interested, you can subscribe to my channel. I will be happy to have you here, and this way you will be sure not to miss the next videos. For the purpose of this video, to show you some examples, I'm going to use my paper skirt, which comes from the Wardrobe for an Elephant, which is a workshop about paper clothes, and I will also use my fairy tale carriage, which is a sort of mixture of papier mache paper, craft paper, mulberry paper. So a big disclaimer here before we start, I'm a paper magician. I've worked with paper even before, so this past 20 years I've worked with paper. So these examples comes from my experiences, and now I'm not going to say all the artists, the paper artists will share these thoughts, will do these things, but this is my experience with the papers I use, because I mainly use craft paper, mulberry paper, not very much the classical papier mache technique. I'm very often asked this question. I already have done some videos about that. I will do some new videos about that because it's a question which comes all the time. Another thing I needed to tell you is all the things I'm going to tell you not to do. For example, you have to know some customers of mine in the past have done all these things. They will sound a bit strange, you would never thought of doing these things, maybe, but you have to know some people have done them. So it's the reason on my Etsy shop I have a lot of things to suggest what people should do or not do. It always comes when people come to buy something from me, they have some suggestions and advices, but I have never done a practical video sharing exactly what to do and what not to do. So if you are enrolled in any of my workshops, I always have a slice of a video sharing with you some advices about that, about how dusting, how cleaning, how taking care of your sculpture, your carriage, your costume, whatever you have done once you have done them. But this video is going to come into more details. First, the 5 things you should never do with your paper sculpture, no matter what it is, if it's a costume, if it's a carriage, if it's a dollhouse, whatever it is. So never put a sculpture, a paper sculpture, in a damp room. If it's a conservatory, maybe in winter, if it's a bathroom, if it's something with water. You have to remember that paper is going to absorb and swallow all the water outside in the room, so just be very careful to that and just don't put them in these sort of rooms. Never put your sculpture near any heating source. It might be a radiator, even if you have a protection, as I have here, a marble protection or something. Above a radiator is not a good idea, only maybe in summer of course, but in winter or in autumn when you are using your radiator, your central heating, please don't put it there. There is the glue, there is painting, the shapes might be altered, they may change, so don't do that. Don't add any artwork in a kitchen, close to a stove, near a fireplace. When you have a fire, some smoke, all that, it's going to swallow all this smoke, it's going to be greasy, it's going to be dirty, impossible to clean. Just as I told you, you may think it's so crazy to do that. Some customers of mine have done that, so don't do that. Never spray any kind of product on it, any water, anything on your sculpture. There is a use for water, I'm going to go back to it a bit later, but no spray, polish, any cleaning products on it at all. Never put your paper sculpture near a window with the sunshine coming through the window. All the colors are going to be altered very quickly, but when I say quickly, it's very quickly. I think in less than 1 year, if you do that, for 1 full year, you're going to see the colors are going to change. How and when dusting your paper sculptures? Once a month is a very good idea if you don't want the dust to really be glued on your paper, whatever it is, a sculpture made in craft paper, papier mache or mulberry paper. There are many ways to dust it. I'm going to show you some very easy way. You don't need to buy anything, you have everything at home, you don't need any fancy tools, it's very basic. The first easy way, so easy way, is to put your, here it's my dress, I'm going to show you with the carriage, to put it upside down like that and to shake it, gently shake it. The dust is going to fall. You can also blow like that. You can, if you want, touch it. Here you don't use any tools. You just do that from time to time, maybe once or twice a month. And it's going to remove most of the dust. So it's very basic, you don't damage anything, you don't pretty much touch anything, so it's a really nice, gentle way to dust your paper sculpture. Just the same with my carriage, I would do that from time to time. I may have something which may be like my little pom-pom here, but it doesn't really matter. It's not going to be hurt by that, not just the same. It's very simple. The second way would be using a blowing dryer, because it's going also to be very gentle, very soft. You don't actually touch anything with that, and it's just going to remove all the dust very easily. So you would put it on cold and on gentle, so no heat, and with maybe not too many power, not too much power. So here I'm going just to have everything low and cold. I can also use some gentle, soft brushes to dust my paper, especially between the pleats. Between the pleats, it might work for a character who has a costume. So just like that. It's going to remove all the dust. You can also use a damp cloth, a damp paper kitchen paper, if you, I don't know, if you have a little problem, or maybe if the stain was there for a very long time, or if you have a stain or something which can be easily removed. Here you can definitely use a damp cloth or a damp kitchen paper on the craft paper parts. I would suggest to be really careful and not using it on the mulberry paper. I'm going to share with you in a few seconds why, but you can do that on your craft paper. It's not going to remove the paint if you have used some acrylic paint. As I only use this one, so nothing really crazy will happen. And of course it has just to be gently damp, not really wet, and you can just do that if you want to remove a stain or something. You can just gently use a paper like that. So you can tell, yeah, I didn't dust it a lot, my skirt, so it's a bit dirty. It's not paint, it's really dirt. It's really dust, which has not been removed. I have a bit of mulberry paper mixed with craft paper, so here I really don't want too much to wet it. It's going to be changed. I might tear it apart. It's just more fragile, so I don't want to do that. I would really suggest for any part with mulberry paper, you don't use water or wet cloth, wet paper at all. You really avoid that, because another thing is you are going to fix the dust on the mulberry. It's going to work a bit in a different way, so you can do that on the craft but not on the mulberry paper. And if you wonder what is the difference between mulberry and craft, I have some videos on my channel about that, and I'm going to link them below this video. Here, for example, my rabbit, here he has some fur made with mulberry paper. I'm at all not going to use any water here, anything, never do anything like that. Just blowing dry your hair or putting a character upside down. That's all you can do to remove the dust. You really don't want to wet it. It's going to change everything and to really change all the effect you wanted to create, so and probably to damage it. Now maybe you wonder, how do paper grow old? How do paper sculptures grow old? Craft paper, mulberry. What can you expect in 4, 5, 10, 50 years from now? So there are good news here. The papier mache technique is very old. Now my techniques are a bit different, but they're in the same family. And really, if you do take care well of your paper sculpture, if you follow the advices I gave you in this video, they will last for a very long time and very probably forever. if you don't put them in a damp room, if you dust them on a regular basis, if you don't put them too close to a light source, a heating source. Now, some colors may change. They will just very, very gently change. So the main color which is going to change, it's white paper. The only totally white paper I use in my artwork, for example, is when I do my rabbits, my animals, for the fur, things like that. Otherwise, all my paper are always painted, which means there is always a sort of protective layer, coat of paint, which is going to prevent them from changing too much. A white rabbit or white animal or something with white mulberry paper is slightly going to turn into something slightly more an ivory color after a few years. It's not going to be dramatic, spectacular or anything. I think it's just like anything white, a white page, like the print page you have when you want to print something. You may notice that a very old page will be just more ivory. Now, I don't think it's just a bad thing. I quite love it. The only thing you want to avoid is if it's too dusty, the problem with the dust and mulberry paper, especially for a furry character, paper lace or that, it might be more dirty and it might really be swallowed by the mulberry paper. This is a bit the difference between craft paper, papier mache and mulberry. The mulberry paper, we don't add any varnish, anything like that at all. I don't do that and I don't think it's a good idea to do it at all. So it's just slightly more fragile. You just need to be a bit more careful and to dust it on a more regular basis. Just simply checking it, putting a bit of blowing dryer is just enough. Because otherwise the dust is going to make your paper, your white paper, turn grey. Not only this ivory color which you can't really avoid, but really this dirty grey color. Now let me know if you have some question on this topic. If there is something I have forgotten, let me know in the comments below. I would be happy to reply. I just simply think if you take good care of your paper sculptures, if you don't forget them near a window, on a radiator, if you just take good care of them, there will be no problem at all after a few years, 10 years, 50 years. I will also link some videos to explain a bit the difference between craft paper, mulberry paper, as it is a question I have a lot, and even the papier mache technique. Some people mix everything together and they just think that a skirt or this skirt would be made in papier mache, which is not the case. It's just papers, basic paper. So you may have some explanations about that with all the videos I made a few years ago. For now, I will leave you here. I will see you very soon. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss the next videos. And you can also give a thumbs up to this video. It's always a nice way to support the videos and to help my channel. And for now, I will leave you here and I will see you very soon.